Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today I'm going to answer a question that comes up quite frequently from foreigners. In fact, even lawyers and accountants ask me this question, including, interestingly, US accountants. So what we're going to be discussing is, say you are a foreign owner of a US LLC. Are you subject to taxes in the US? Now, in addition to that, for all of you who are not from, or who are Americans, or from somewhere else, I'm also going to cover how the principles that are covered here apply to other types of structures in other parts of the world. So if you want to save taxes, this could be a good point for you. And if you're unclear on this point, it will hopefully clear some things up. Let's say that I am an online dropshipper, okay? So I have products and I sell them around the world, okay? Let's say that for kind of the sake of simplicity, I am based in Cyprus, okay? We'll just use Cyprus as an example. All right, so I'm based in Cyprus. I'm shipping products all over, but I'm operating all through the web and my operations are in Cyprus, okay? And it's typically pretty clear that I'm not taxable in the US, right? Where people enter this point of confusion is, okay, I have this US LLC, which it doesn't exist for US tax purposes, but it's still a registered entity in the US. If you are a foreigner, okay, it doesn't apply to US citizens, right? This does not apply to US green card holders. This does not apply to individuals who meet the substantial presence test that makes them a US tax resident, right? So let's say that I'm in Cyprus. This is part of why I use Cyprus as an example, because there's a Cyprus-US tax treaty. So I'm in Cyprus and I'm busy doing business, I'm selling to the US, right? So what it will say is, hey, listen, if you have a resident of Cyprus who is doing business with the US cannot tax that resident of Cyprus except insofar as the resident of Cyprus has a permanent establishment in the US and only on the income attributable to that permanent establishment. Basically, if you do not have people in the US, okay, meaning like employees or like full-time or like major contractors, what we would sometimes refer to as dependent agents, okay, then you should typically not be taxable in the US, okay? Anyway, bottom line of all this, very, very important to understand the definition of what it means to do business in a country and to have, say, in this case, US income, right? US income is typically not determined by where your customers are. That's like the big fallacy that I hear from people. And they get it wrong both ways. They'll say, well, I don't have any customers in the US. It doesn't matter if your operations are in the US typically. On the other hand, somebody will say, oh yeah, but I'm selling to Americans. Doesn't that mean that I have US business? No. You do not, provided that these certain things aren't true, you don't have a permanent establishment, you don't have people who are on the ground working for you, etc., you will typically not be subject to tax in the US for a non-resident company or a non-resident individual.